ମୋର ଏବେ ୱେବିନାର ଆରମ୍ଭ ହବ। ଏତେ ସମୟ କଣ କରୁଛୁ? ସେତେବେଳେ ରିଙ୍ଗ କରୁଛି।
ଥରେ ତ କଲ୍ କଲୁ।
କେତେ ସମୟ ରିଙ୍ଗ ହେଇ କଟିଲା। ମୋର
କଲ୍ ସେଟା ନିଜ WhatsApp ଲାଗୁନି ସେତେବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ କଲ୍ କଲା ଯେ କେମିତି ଚିଡଚିଡ ହଉଛି ଦେଖ। ଉଲ୍ଟା ଜୋର କୋତୱାରୀ ପଡା।
ହଉ ଯା, ମୁଁ ମୋର ୱେବିନାର କରିସାରେ ତାପରେ ତତେ ଡାକିବି। So hey everybody, let me record this on my computer also. So hi everybody, so today's session will be on how to become a CEO. So when I tried telling this to people who are first time managers, you know, they found it to be funny, and they were thinking that I was playing tricks with them. My point is, when you don't trust that you can become a CEO, then nobody can convince you to be a CEO because you don't trust yourself, right? So what is the first thing that you should be doing? The first thing is trust on yourself. So that creating that trust takes time. It is not the skill or the uh, the ability to do the job that is important, or that will take time, but it is the ability and the conviction of being a CEO tomorrow is what will be very difficult. I'm telling from my experience, it is not something which is only true about you and not about me. So, the basic thing is what? Now, you are trying to be somebody who you are not today. It is not about the designation that is important. It is your conviction. So how do you create that conviction is what I teach. So once you get convinced about your ability, then does it matter whether you are the CEO or not? Because you have a big trust level. Because you are first time managers, that is why the CEO position looks very great, grand, and a bit impossible. But once you are there will be even bigger positions which you will aspire for, because you will not stop just being a CEO, right? CEO is what now? CEO is still an employee. You are not an owner as yet. So if you want, and the CEO, at that position is bound by other kind of compulsions that is not there at your level of first time managers. Are you getting that? So it is always a journey. And if it is a journey of the conviction, then the starting point that you are trying to get to, the starting point is very important, and the process is very important. If you keep doing that, then you grow step by step to the next position, and sometimes you will skip positions to jump to a higher position. It is quite possible. It happens when you have conviction. And how conviction will be brought about? It is when you start doing what is required of you and more than that. So let me start by sharing the screen, asking you some questions. So if you are able to see my screen, I am asking actually, leadership growth is a continuous process, and there are only three secrets to strategize the career ladder and prove your uniqueness all the time. And being unique is not such a big thing. Being unique is not such a big thing. You are already born unique. You just need to know that this is your uniqueness, and you mm, just the first step is knowing. You think that it is the job of your boss to know your uniqueness. It is not. First thing is you have to know your uniqueness, right? So thank you for being here, and whoever is watching, I uh, my gratitude for you to have taken time and have been watching. So let me ask you few questions, growth questions. So that is the first basis. You have to have conviction. You need to trust that you can achieve, you can be there. So the first growth question is, what is the principle you have? So that is the first question you need to ask. And what does this mean? What is the principle? The first is, do you do what you love? So whatever is your work right now, do you love it? So that how, if you love it, then you understand the meaningfulness of your right now, whatever responsibility you have. If you don't love, then you don't find whatever you are doing to be meaningful. The second question is, sorry about that, showing your relevance. You are thinking and you are expecting people to appreciate and recognize and acknowledge your uniqueness, right? But do you appreciate your own uniqueness? That is how you will be proving your relevance, right? So what is that one thing, just one thing nobody else can do? I'll tell you, anything you do, anything that cannot be done by anybody else the way you will do, because everybody else is very different, and the same thing will be done by different people in a different manner. Agree about that? And becoming your way. Have you made the work a dream one? So you are doing a simple thing, right? The other day, what will happen? You will graduate to another level, right? You will graduate to another level. So I'll tell you one story. When I went to Hyderabad in 2008, I didn't have a place to stay. So I was looking for a PG, where food also will be served. I was the only person who went to that Hyderabad. So I had nobody out there. So PG would have been an ideal place. And I found out one PG. And there was just one bed, and I had my bed only because there was no almirah. I had two bags, and that is all that I had, and the bed area. That is the only space I was having. So after 3 months, the nearby room, which is a small cabin, that got vacated. So I moved on there, moved to that room because here it was like say, too congested. And here the single bed I was paying 2,000 rupees per bed per a month. So, but this new place, it was 2,200 rupees. So the owner came, and I thought I deserved that room, and so I moved. But the owner had actually spoken to another person to for that room. So when he came, already I had shifted. By the time in the evening when he came, I had already shifted. He said, "How come you shifted here?" I said, "Because I was not getting enough space out there. So that is why I have shifted here the moment I saw that this was vacated." So he said, "But this will cost you 2,200 rupees." I said, "Fine, I'll pay." So he didn't expect that kind of reply, right? So, but because he was getting money, right? The fees, whatever he was charging, I was paying him. So he said, okay. And then he also told, because you are working on a laptop, you have to pay extra 200 rupees for the electricity. I said, okay, 2,400, right now. He said he had nothing to refuse me to, so he had to give me that KB. And that cabin also had two rooms, so there were two beds. So that means another person had to come. Luckily, one of my friends moved in to that cabin, so it became a very cozy place, that cabin. And both of us, although there was very little time but very little space after the two beds were there, still, because we two friends gelled well, so we had a beautiful time between us. And people in that, it was a ladies PG hostel, and they had a lot of problems. Somebody had a boyfriend who was cheating. Somebody had another problem. So these girls used to come to that room to sit alone, peacefully for some time, whether we were there or not. We never no, put lock to that room. So so it was a dream place for the entire PG. So after 6 months time, I was transferred. So obviously I had to vacate that room, and my friend reported that that room is now of lot of value, and everybody wanted that room. So now that room, uh, like say, he was charging for 3,000 rupees, and so it was no different, other than it is a small cabin, and we had made that cabin look like a dream place. It had nothing extraordinary, no almirah could be accommodated, just a little um, rack was there, and all the space was below the bed only. So it was nothing special. A small cabin at the end of the entire hall. So your workplace, similarly, the entire background that I have built up to explain that whether you have made your workplace a dream one. आपने अपने workplace को a dream place बना, dream work बनाया क्या? It will be like say you if you can make organize all the work in a very routine organized way so that it smoothly flows, and there is nobody and nothing to stop in between, then it becomes a place, a work, a task which is a dream one, right? Have you made that? That is the third thing. Fourth is, are you thinking long term? When you are a first time manager, it so happens that you haven't yet started thinking long term. How it will be in the long term? Whatever you are doing, what is the long term effect? Have you thought about that? It can be anything. It is even about your work, whatever you are doing today, right? Yes, no, how do you think? That has a lot of bearing on what you will, where you will be going, right? Question number 5 is, what difference do you make to your organization? So this is the question I have faced entire my life. Even when I have grown to the level of senior VP now, even then, people ask me, how do I make a difference? Everybody knows I can do a lot. Everybody has seen that potential. Wherever I am there, the expectation goes up. So have you created that kind of image about yourself? You know, even when people can't figure out, you cannot also pinpoint about what all you do, because you do so effortlessly that it doesn't sound like an work. People will say, I am doing this, I am doing that, I am doing that, so many things, but they cannot prove your relevance, right? So what is that kind of difference that you can make when you are most of the time? What complaint I get is, even if I do all the work, somebody else takes the credit. The credit that goes to another person is just temporary. Mind that. That person will not have your image, because he will be given the task and he will not be able to do. But you know, when you think just about yourself, it becomes a restricted, narrow kind of thing. And when you grow bigger, it is a team, about the team that you think. There is a thin line of difference as to how you can think long term and how you can make a difference to your organization. If you are not able to work in a team, and you are not able to uh, flourish in a team environment, then it is something that a CEO will never be able to achieve. So you are just sabotaging your possibility to be a CEO. Question number 6 is, how do you measure quality of your task? What is the process that you follow? Quality of the task means, if you have automated it, then you save a lot of time. So in terms of time and in terms of effort, somebody else will not be starting from the scratch when you hand over that, and the credit might go to that person. But you know, all the while, what I think is, you will be a different person than other people, right? So are you solving a problem? So you are here, I would advise that you should be solving a problem. So how you will benefit your organization is the first question that you should ask yourself, and then immediately you assign yourself a task which you will be solving all the time, right? How can you minimize regrets as a 80-year-old? So many people say that if I would have taken that kind of decision, then my life wouldn't have been this. So that regret comes after one has passed, long after the prime of their life, right? So how to avoid that? Think long term. Next is, do you think you are a better person than a year back? So are you a better person? That means what? Have you started growing? Have you started enough to be a better person? This requires a lot of thinking. The growth score is, for all these questions, how much you have given yourself. Less than 40, you should start thinking seriously. 40 to 60, this is reasonable. No, you can improve a bit and you can get there. And more than 60, you are ready for the next position. You just need to wait and consolidate your position, right? So these are the points. How many questions? We have 9 questions. These are the 9 questions to answer whether you are on track with being a CEO or not. This is the first part of being a CEO. We will discuss next, if you have given answer to all this, next in the next episode. So thank you for watching, and I thank you everybody for watching this. And if you want more, then you can just pass a comment to me while watching this video.